Okay, time to continue the mega base. So, I wandered out here in the middle while I was thinking about this. We have all of our stuff planned, well, built for science and high-level assemblies and low-level assemblies. And really all we have left is the petroleum processing area and the smelters and the mines. And there it is. With all that in mind, as I'm working backwards, I don't want this playthrough to end with hours and hours and hours of let's drop another mine. So, rather than do that, I'm going to go set up one mine on each of these on camera, and then set up smelters. At some point we'll set up more mines off camera because adding more mines is never interesting. Smelters, I will get one smelter of each kind working and then decide on where I'm going to put them. I'm thinking that this process I'm going to go ahead and use creative mode because it's all low-level stuff. However, we need to rethink something here. I've got these mines set up to use productivity modules, 3 of them. Well, look at the requirements for iron. We've got almost 2,400 machines taking 730 megawatts of energy. And if we instead use no modules, we use 2/3 the number of machines and a lot less energy. And if we then go to using a pair of efficiency module 2s in each one, our energy goes way down. I'm starting to worry about energy because this is a solar-driven base. And notice that with this peeled down like this, this is a lot easier to place. We still require 24 belts of output. But now this means we're exercising fewer machines. We're spending less time building them, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let's see. This is going to go down to a pair of these guys. So we're going from 1,800 and miners and almost 600 megawatts down to 22 megawatts and 1,200. So this is definitely a win. See, I've been assuming that the productivity was important, but because I set these ore patches to be very, very rich and very, very large, getting extra productivity to stretch out the lifetime of the ore patch is no longer important. Second thing, we're using a lot of megawatts here for making plates. What if instead we use steel furnaces? So for steel plate, this says 230 electric furnaces. We could go with 230 steel furnaces. Well, we're losing the beacons, which means we need to go to 1,300 of them. But this is still only 3.6 belts, so it's 18 belts in. I am calling that a win because I am more than willing to use coal on this stuff. That doesn't increase my coal usage appreciably. I mean, I'm already using 4.8 belts of raw coal, or it's adding a belt or so. Yeah, maybe we need an extra coal mine to get margin. That's all right. So there's items per minute. So what this means is that my smelters are going to sprawl a bit, but we have plenty of space. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this whole area here, I'm going to use for smelters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down in the lower right hand corner here somewhere, I'm going to put a steel smelter, and then I'm going to add steel smelters to the north. And then next one I'll put iron smelter, add iron smelters to the north. So these all will have ore coming in from the right, and their product is going to go out to the south, and then we'll distribute. Eventually we may need to do something about all this water. So this whole area here is going to be my smelters, which means I need to start placing my mines over there. Let's work up from the bottom. Oh, the reason why I'm not doing petroleum yet is because petroleum requires iron plate and copper plate and so on. I want to have all that stuff ready, so when I crank up the petroleum, we can just get right into it. Going bottom up this time. I think that starting from the end of the factory was a mistake, because moving forward from ingredients to final thing means that we're building and building and building, and by the end of the series we've finally put into place the launch pad. And if we've done everything right, when we put the launch pad into place, we can suddenly see the factory start launching and seeing what's going. It means we can't test it as we go. So this factory is backwards. I'm going to have to do a forward factory next. But we're going to do forward from here on, because now we know exactly how much of this stuff we need. That's the reason to do it backwards, is so you know exactly how much of this you need. So let's start with, we need iron, copper, stone, and coal. I'm going to do one of each. Doesn't really matter which ones. So looking down in this area here, I am seeing a couple of interesting patches. These are all going to be nice and big, and they're going to last nice long times. We are stonkered for choice here. I'm going to place coal here, stone, and if I put my iron here, stone and iron, surely that is far enough apart, and copper there. So I actually have these blueprints ready to go. So big mine array and ore loading are my big ones. So the ore loading goes off to the left, and you can see how big that is. But we'll be able to fit there and there and there and there. That should be just fine. So ore loading I'm going to put on my bar. The other one is the big mine array, which was worked out in a separate save, which I'm using Creative Mod on to produce as large a patch as we could ever have. So this is actually ugly large. It's larger than any possible patch. Basically, each horizontal row is big enough to have big enough that each row can produce a blue belt. And I've got 4 of those going right to left, which are my main belts. But these tend to be circular, and they tend to be taller than 4 and not quite long enough. So I put 2 more rows top and bottom headed left to right, with their outputs being merged and split and brought back. So it's 12 feeding into 4. This is fine. Did I say this is my iron? No, this is my coal. If I put iron here, iron, stone, copper, yeah, coal, I could put the coal way down there. Keep these well separated. And yeah. Need to be well separated vertically because my station is mainly vertical, and separated enough horizontally so they don't overlap. So iron, coal, stone, copper. Yeah, let's do that. So iron, this is roughly centered here and here. So I'm just going to paste this down. Now I do have creative mode set up. Let's make sure the right things are turned on. Yeah. So instant request and trash so I can manage my inventory. Instant blueprint and deconstruction, because the fun part of this is working out what to put where at this point. We've already worked through the planning procedures and figuring out how to build things. And now it's a matter of how many mines do I put down, where do I place them, and how do I arrange for the train traffic to work. So here is our horizontal, here's our vertical. There-ish, is that right? Let's go step out in the middle of that so I can see the patch on my setup here. Big mine array, let's put on the hotbar. There we go. So we're standing in the middle and this is proper. So we're going to do this just like that. And part of this blueprint actually has the creative mods, super radar and power, so we can get power going for now. We will hook this back up to the main base and we'll be getting its power from the rail eventually. So the other thing is hooking this up. So we are going to merge our 8 lines and we are off by 1. Ha! So this, alas, needed to have a, what do you call it? Need to have a rail in it somewhere to align it. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to place down the loading station where I want it, like that. And then I'm going to have to place this down again. Oops. Actually, I need to have it set up so that I can kill this guy off. So the mine is going to go to the left a little bit. Let's just put it right like that. And now we kill him. Boop. And place him back down again, this time actually connected up. What is going on? Okay, I need to get rid of the trees and such, because I don't want to be shift clicking. There. That's perfect. Now, I was standing in the middle of this, so there. So now we've got iron coming in and heading out to these guys, which do not have any lamps. We don't need train requesters, do we? We got a whole bunch of stuff in our inventory that we don't actually need. I'm not going to worry about it for now because we're running creative mode right now. But yeah, let's clear this out just a little bit. So the way I'm going to do this in the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and place the loading station down first, centered and off to the left, and then place the mining grid adjacent to it. So if I did all this right, we should now be seeing our quantities coming in, and we now have the wrong name here. We're keeping to our convention of AAA, and we're using the icons. Okay, So this is iron mine. We're going to call it iron mine AB because it uses stations A and B. Add tag. Iron. Just put that right there. Now the way this works is we have trains coming south along this pair of rails. And if they're destined for here, they will split off into these two lanes where we have our loading stations. And this has enough parking for a 3/8 train to be waiting while another train is loading, while another train is waiting to get back on the return line. So we've got stuff coming down. If you're not headed for iron, you go through to the next thing. So that will allow us to flow our empties through existing stations. Once you have it, we then merge it back together and get on the return line, which heads back north. So our depot is going to be to the north, and our return stuff is going to go back to the north to loop around to come into the foundries, which need to be over here. So there's iron. Stone and coal and copper. This copper is going to be interesting because it's got some coal behind it. I'm going to do the easy thing at this point. Normally you would drop everything in place and not set up the miners on the coal, but because of the way I'm doing things, that's safer. So let's go do that copper next. First thing I want to do is make sure that I have erased that coal. Yes, I have. Okay. So now, first of all, let's verify this all fits. That's perfect. Let's actually move out into the middle here. So if we're centered here, then it's basically along this line. So we want to center this so that all 8 of the lines are here, and we're kind of out to the left a bit, like there. And he actually has a super radar, so I can just hit that. That deletes all the trees. And now we can put our mining in place. Oh, and we need to be out of the way, because if we're in the way, then the mining won't actually drop the mine where we were standing. There we go, and we place. And now we check by eye, and here we see it's flowing. Now I didn't go over these stations at all on the other end. Let's go over them really quickly here. This is a bulk rail loader, which has an extremely large capacity, 320 stacks, which happens to be the same capacity as an entire train. So 8 of these will hold enough stuff to load up 8 trains that have 8 wagons. Nice how that comes out even. Into these I am feeding 8 full blue belts. And as they come in, I am splitting it so that half goes in here and half goes in there. These should be full or almost full. It turns out almost full is the right amount for this particular area. If I started putting speed beacons in here, it would speed them up a bit. This isn't quite enough to give me 8 fulls. So let's look at max rate calculator. And this size with these guys here with 30% productivity is turning out 5.2 blue belts total. Now, if I started putting speed beacons in, I could drain this faster. We're going to want to watch the number of total belts of output we have for each thing to make sure we put enough down. Oh, and apparently I had more than one of these guys. There we go. So we'll revisit the power as we run rail to these stations and assure that they have power coming in all along the normal rail areas. At that point, we'll be picking up the passive energy sources and the super radars. So, what are we doing with the bulk rail loaders? Well, first of all, these express mini loaders are connected to the bulk rail loaders, and they're set up in that normal configuration where we are only loading into this guy if he doesn't have too much more than the average. So we're saying average, if we're within 15 of average, we can load. So from these bulk rail loaders, we have the green wire, which is going to collect up our total inventory, and the red wire, which goes locally. And from here, there's a green wire. At the top, we say, take the total in all of them, divide it by -8, send it back out, so we get a negative value coming in here. It's going to be like minus 2.5k, so that balances this. That's normal. And coming down the bottom, we have that one green line, which comes from all of our rail loaders. So this is our current stock on hand, which gets hooked up to the LTN stop input. So he's iron A and B. So we balance the stuff into these guys, and we have really simple LTN stations. Now, because we don't have any way of controlling what we load onto the cargo wagons, we're just, whatever's in there, we're dumping into the wagon. We have to configure to only request trains if they can actually hold an entire train full of stuff. So here's the filtering. 7 and 2040 to specify where the engines are and where the cargo wagons are. No more than 11, so we fit in the parking area, and no more than 2 trains, so we fit in the parking area. In practice, this means there'll be 2 trains scheduled, and we will tend to have one unloading here while the other is probably loading somewhere else. And once we finish unloading, or finish loading here, we'll have one loading here, and a second one sent to load here. So when the first one heads off to where it's going to drop it, the second one can step in and start loading up. We demand 360 stacks. This is because 320 fits in the train, but the loaders may not be completely balanced. So we're going to allow for some of the loaders to be a little low. If we have 360 total stacks, that means that the loaders that are a little low will still have enough. They need 40 each. So even if one has 40, the others can't have enough to put us over 360. And we're using network ID 256 for all of these. I've lost track of what network IDs I used in the other base. I think it was 1 and 2. We're going to use 256 for our raws. And we will decide on these as we go. But 256 for our ores, which means coal, stone, iron, and copper ore. Okay, there's that. Add tag. This is copper mine AB. There's copper, and we're going to put it there. Now, I could annotate this with the number of belts nominally output, but over time, as these are exhausted, that will go less. So in practice, for me to know that I need another station, another mine, will only be because LTN is telling me I can't find anybody that has this ore. So at that point I would put out another one. Which means we need to really make sure everybody is completely saturated before we start doing that. You know, get all of our rail loaders completely full, and then let LTN start moving things around. We also want to at least make a stab at having enough mines initially to be to meet our factory planner. Okay, so that's iron and copper. We still need coal and we need stone. And I was going to use coal down there and stone up here somewhere. That's 99 million, that's 96 million. I got a bigger stone, 115. I don't actually need a whole lot of stone, but it'd be nice to not like have a puny one. These stones are all basically the same size. Let's use this stone up here and that coal down there. Let's go for stone next. Okay, so this just needs to be off to the left a bit, like that. Yeah, it's about even. Let's put it there. Kind of arbitrary. And then we drop down the mine. And I think that's got us covered. And because we were standing in the middle, we need to head off this way a bit and replant that. Same thing here. So let's fix the station names. There we go. So yeah, this gets pretty easy when I've only got, I just have to put down one blueprint for it. But that's okay because we have to put down a bunch of these. And the real creativity is going to come in how I organize this, where I put the smelters, where I put the depots, and how I make sure that I've got enough rail to handle the traffic. So, coal down there. Oh, almost forgot. Let's kill the trees, kill all the trees and more. Okay. Station off to the left. That's about right. We're going to head out to about there. And this guy back to about there. And let's kill off even more trees. So we can only really kill off the trees that are inside our radar coverage, but that's okay. And now, again, we have some things that didn't place. There we go. And this is coal. Now, I said I wasn't going to duplicate names anymore, but that's really not something I can control at this point because my blueprint for this guy kept the names. So there's our stations. We have some of them labeled and some of them not. Let's fix that. So stone, quarry, AB. and iron, coal mine AB. There we go. So once we get some smelters set up and a depot set up, we can run all these lines up to the north and pick it up and send our empties in and get back full trains of ore, which we can then roll back. We will need to have a whole bunch more of those scattered around all over the place, which probably means I'm going to need to go out and do a whole lot more exploration. So that'll be, I'm thinking I will do that running around in a Farl, because Farl in bulldozer mode goes through everything. And if I put some landfill in it, I could even go over water. So, yay. Okay. So the mines are placed and we're a half an hour in. So let's start working on the smelters. I would like the smelters to be lined up with this grid, even if we're going to be larger. I have smelters in my blueprints, so let's drop those from there for now. Yeah, all of those can be dropped. So LTN iron and copper, this is a smelter I worked out in a different save. It's actually a very early game save, which is why all the yellow stuff. So let's make a copy of it and put it in game blueprints. And we're going to want to upgrade that a bit. So this upgrade planner is going to be from yellow and red to blue. And basically we're just going to do everything. And now red. I'm pretty sure we don't have any red on the blueprint, but you never know. Okay. So we do that. And I go back to game blueprints and go to LTN iron and copper and upgrade based on this. Now when I place this down, I'm going to have to extend these smelter arrays. I have to triple them because the smelters themselves are set up only to handle one yellow belt. Everything else though is now set for blue. I may need to increase my power, or if I'm going to get power from the grid, maybe I'll just get rid of these solars completely. But that should be good. Let's save that off. And now we grab the one for steel. Steel is slightly different in that it has a slightly larger footprint here because it now needs to have smelt the ore into iron and then smelt the iron into steel separately. So again, we want to, let's start with make a copy. Put that in game blueprints. And now we want to upgrade it with Bloomy. There we go. So how big are these? This is our steel smelting. If I were to use the entire thing as it stands, then our input stations at the top would go like that. And the output, instead of wrapping back through, would simply go out to the right-hand side. And if we wanted to, we would then change the input area to take from the left-hand side. So we'd still use the vertical spines on this, maybe. Alternately, I might turn it around so that we are taking from the right and outputting to the left. If we want to do that, it might be something like this. Now the danger here is that we are now flowing upwards instead of downwards. And I don't think I can flip this. In fact, I know I can't flip it because there are rails involved. So it may very well be that my best alternative is to set it here and then manually work out the reversed. No. If I reverse my stations, the problem becomes that all the logic is below, and I really want that to go the right direction. Yeah, I think this is going to be the right orientation. So the intention would be that we come across way above it, feed the ore down to the left of it, and it comes in from the left and it goes across. I'm not even sure this will have an honest grid around it at this point. And it comes out the bottom, where we get a station on the bottom that provides the output, which means that the smelting array itself needs to be centered, and then I'll adjust the stations or not adjust the stations as appropriate. So it would go kind of there-ish. And to do that, I will actually need to do some funky stuff with the grid. So, also it fits in a 1x2 area, so these can tile upwards. So we're going to start up here somewhere. Do I have the grid on a nice thing? Where is my... Well, there's an assembly area, but what I want is just the frame. Well, there's the planning ace, which I used way back. Let's just pop that on my bar and see what that's set to. This is set to a snap to grid. That's good. Okay, so let's go back to here, and I just want to roll this upwards. So there's the planning. This is just with the power. So this is only power and lights and so on. So if we roll this up here, I'm just going to roll it all the way up. So that's not visible yet. And we want to come in somewhere like here. Now to make this visible, because I'm impatient, Team Cheats, chart all. So now we see where our planning grid was. And we want this to be here-ish. So this line that's below us, this is where we want all of our returns to be, at the lowest point. So that covers that. Zoom in a little bit so we can be sure this is actually right on top. And that goes way out that way. We do this again. Chart all. So for some reason it didn't actually place everywhere. I probably wasn't holding shift, and there's probably trees. So we do it again, this time holding shift down. Okay, there we go. So this is the first row where we might want to put our smelters, which would cause us to have our outputs down on this row. And I'm thinking that our outputs come out and down, which means that really I'm going to start moving stuff through vertically here. We will work out the landfill on that as necessary. So, where do we really need things? Well, we've already got a lot of iron and copper coming down here-ish. So I'm thinking starter smelters over here, which means that what I really want is to landfill this guy almost immediately. So our first smelter then goes here. I could put it over one more, but then we're starting to get into that water, so we'll put it here. So steel smelting, it's going to take up 2 wide. So these 2. So let's put it there. Let's see what it ends up looking like before we start planning out too much other stuff. So I decided on putting the input rail stuff to the up. And there's my center point. So this is about where I want things centered. I'm centering the furnace array like that. So roughly there. Now if I stamp that down, we potentially will have problems in the middle with that with those power poles. But that's okay, I can stamp this down. Yep. Okay, so this is immediately going to have issues. Now we go from here down to here, carve it out. We stamp it down again. Now I really should have set up the blueprint with the requesting stations turned off. Okay. So to make this work better, what I want to do is give myself a super radar somewhere and a power plant somewhere, which we will then replace that with. Yeah, okay, so this is the midpoint just here. And for now, how about a super substation? And a passive power. We'll have to get rid of those when we bring real stuff in. But that's what it looks like, and now we make it bigger. I need 3 times as much. Now, if I do that, notice it's not going to be overlapping any. We'll have to come back and patch it back in. So the join, just take up a bunch of those. Let's take from here. So these come in groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a group of 4 and a group of 4. Well, what we want is to get this area here. That's not right. Oh, that's right. The power here is wonky. Because the power got stripped across because it doesn't line up because of these guys. So, we need to join up the belts and then undo the power and redo the power. And I think, oh, all of this needs to be redone. Oh, good Lord. Because these are on a 7s. So basically all of the inserters down here. Yeah, okay. Let's work it out on the top one. I'll just not do these yet. So up here, we're going to remove power and blue inserters and red inserters. So these guys in the middle, these do tile. They're kind of forced. Like that. Power just gets pulled across. And I need to get rid of the super guy to get those to do the right thing. Just like that. Now this is the vertical line that says where I would start the solar in the other build, and in this case I don't need it. So this is the natural place for the power pole. So how do these guys run? I was kind of hoping they would line up. So we start here, we're on the right hand side, and left hand side, and right. So really this should be equivalent to that. So if I take this much of it and I run it out to here, I should be able to stamp him down here. Now if I did this right. Yeah, except so it does stamp down in the wrong place sometimes. So there, and 2 over is there. I suppose I could set this on a repeat, but it's just this one thing. And then we kill off that much of it. Same thing up here. I'm going to go from here, 1, 2, and out to him. All this just because the power doesn't line up quite right with these, because of these guys down here. Okay, so we grab this from, let's grab the whole thing. Why not? There. Now from right to left, this is not a rotate, this is a flip. So we still have the input above the output. If I did it right, this should just drop down here. Except, of course, this belt, which is in the way. And there it is. So we didn't get a placement proper because of this guy. Grumph. I thought I had him killed. This is like this, so I can go from here to here. And that should work. We don't have that. There we go. Okay, so LTN is going to continue to complain about these guys. What's the naming convention here? This is AAA coal for steel 1. And this is iron ore. Now if I turn this off, LTN should stop complaining about these. I'll leave those turned off until I have everything hooked up. So there's our steel. Now, steel foundries, we need a total of how many belts? We need a total of, well, this isn't going to help. What we need is here. Potentially we have 8 belts of input going. And with this kind of unloader, this is 1 coal and 1 iron. I'm not sure I'm going to get a full 8 belts out of this, but let's go ahead and try. I can always add more to the north if I'm not. So steel, if we're getting 8, we need 3 of those. So 2 is not enough, and 3 is going to be our good overkill. So I'm going to do a couple things. First off, we are going to kill that. Second off, we're going to grab all of this, just like that. And now I'm going to keep the train stop names, just going to change the digits at the end, and snap to grid. The height is 180, and the width is 360. We don't have a loading station at the bottom yet. I will have to add those in. And this is relative. Thank you. So now, if I start from here and I say 1, 2 more, like that. Those are our steel smelting. And all 3 of them are currently set to load from the left and send back out to the left. Once I figure out how I want things coming north-south here, I will redirect these maybe to head south. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, I really do need to finish this station properly before I replicate it up. Because I will confuse myself, just like I just almost did, because these are empties. These are trains of resources coming in here and empty trains going back out. And it's down here where we are going to take empty trains coming in and full trains going back out. So the next step is to get things aligned. I want more train stations down below that are perfectly aligned with these because I like perfect. So I'm going to do a pair of lines here. And they are here. As long as I don't go any left or right, I'm good. Anywhere down here, this is good. So again, I want one line to be passed through, which is going to be the top one. We need a loading station and the bypass line and the rollout and the bypass line. And this will end up going south, this will end up going east, because our empties coming in, this is just going to stripe across all four kinds. So here and here, these bypass lines are going to be common lines for the full ore trains and the empty plate trains as they come in from the left and go out to the right. And in theory, these empties I could send up instead of to the left. Not sure. Really not sure. But let's take a look at what this looks like for a loading station. Do I have a loading station blueprint? You know, I don't think I did a loading station blueprint. Okay, well, let's see here. We need a LTN station here. And we do not have we don't have one of these because we don't need one. I'm thinking we'll make this go right-left instead of left-right. Yeah, I think so. Let's just swing this around. Just like that. So let's see. I really want my 4 wagons that I'm loading to be centered under this guy. Yeah. Okay, let's center the 4 wagons under him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our center point. That's about right. Just like that. So that's where I want to set things up. Okay. So for this station, we're going to be entering here and coming in and around and down. and our rollout. Let's get that set. Does it fit? So the question is, do I want my empties for this to be coming from the right or the left? If they come from the left, I have to do a circle. Let's make them come from the right. See, snap to grid, 78.8. Relative. Okay, so there's the bypass line. Just make sure I didn't... Okay, I missed the power pole. Good. Okay, so the empties here, these empties are going to come in from the right. That's fine. That's fine. So the empties come in from the right, and they go past the bottoms of the smelters. They head out to the south. They go deliver this stuff, and then they head over. So the depot for plates are going to be over here somewhere. That's fine. I like that. So let me run this rail out to be like that. Now I need a place for this vertical to go, which doesn't conflict with this stuff. Let's put it near this area here. Why not? So there's that vertical. So this vertical is the exit line going downward. Downward with steel. So this is going to be distinct from any of the stuff we do for here. So let's set it up over here as well. So notice our verticals here, again, these are left-hand drive verticals. And I think that's actually the same spacing as on here. It's not going to be aligned with them, so there's going to be jogs left and right, but that's okay. So this will be steel south and iron south and so on. There may be congestion on these verticals. Let's see. In terms of wagons per minute, there's going to be, let's see, 20 wagons per minute, 8 wagons per train, so this is going to be maybe 3 trains per minute. That's not too bad. Yeah, okay. They're going to be busy, no doubt about that, but I think that's going to be okay. So this guy comes over and turns south, which means that he needs a thing there. He's coming south here, so we're going to put there. I think we can, we'll have to verify that there's enough space for a full train to the south. Yeah, let's do that. So this is the top of a cell going south. So this is an empty return line, which needs to go north. This is a full ore line, which needs to come south. It is very tempting to package up all of these fairly close together at this point. Like that. So this guy goes north. This guy's going to be coming down from the north. I think I can do that. Oh, come on. So he needs to be here and here and here. Problem, I can't signal in here. This needs to move over until I can signal in there. Okay, so that's the closest I can get. Here. So that tells me I probably need to move this over as well. Leaving enough space in here so that potentially I can get signals like that through. So what does it look like over here? Does this fit? Okay. So south, north, south. Going south. This guy's going north. This guy's going south. Okay, so this curve is super ugly. I could do it there. Just barely. What if I make it one further back? That does not make it better, that makes it worse. definitely have to review this. Definitely have to review the signaling on all of this. I think for the purposes of traffic management, that whole 3-lane thing is going to be necessary. Okay, so on the inside lane, we've got this guy coming in, which is providing empty trains to pick up ore. And then this is trains with ore coming back out. No, reversed. We have trains coming down with ore and empty trains going back up. Then we have empty trains coming down to pick up stuff, which means I missed something here. This is not a straight through. Oh, no, this is outputs down. I can share the empty train line, can't I? So this internal one will have empties for both of those networks coming down. Is that going to be too much traffic? No, because we don't have empties coming down here. I'm being silly. The empties for the plate come down on the right and go from here over to the left. So I had it right the first time. That's what I get for second guessing myself. Coming down there, going up here, coming over here. Like that. So the plate comes through here and goes down. So this is plate down, empty ore trains up, full ore trains down. Got it. Plate down over there, which means empty plates coming down on the right. Next question is, do I need these pull-through stations? If I'm feeding all of my empties from the top, I'm not even sure I need this station right here at all. Unless all of the empties are coming down here. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I think this is... I think this is something I can relocate just a little bit here. You, from here to here, or actually here. We don't have a bypass. LTN doesn't do that kind of stuff. If we're doing that, why am I bringing my empties all the way over to the left when I could just send them up on the right? Oh, this simplifies. Okay. So no bypass station here. Yeah, let's rework this. Let's leave ourselves plenty of space in here. 1, 2, 3, there. This is our normal stride. These are both going downward. So this guy is carrying empties. Oh, excuse me, this guy is carrying full ore south. Let's mark that. What I'm going to need is a bunch of these guys. Let's request them in. So let's see, where did he go? He went right there. So this is full ore inner south. The other thing I want is something to make it pop. A little concrete here would be good. So this is going to be my full ore. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to rework some of this. This station goes away. Or this line goes away. Now off the right we have empty ore, inner north. So I'm thinking here, 2, 3, and here. And this guy is going to be right here. He is EMPTY and ORTH. all the way down. Now plate is going to go from right to left, so we want empty plate coming down on the right. So empty plate outer north. Yeah, the exact reverse of everything that was on there. So empty plate outer north. No. Empty plate outer south. Yeah, let's do it like that. That really makes it clear which one is attached. So empty plate trains coming south, and they do not cross over, so there's going to be none of these like that. Coming south, here, and here, and here, and here. And this guy is going north, so here, and here. Pick this up to remind me. So this is going to be a full plate. So this guy, whoops. So full or inner south. And on this same line, this is full plate outer south. Out here, so boom, boom. there's the whole setup. So we have 2 lines going south there, 2 lines going north there. Okay, now we set this up. Snap relative width is 7, height is 8. This is loading stations, and I need to kill off these one back to here. So that's got the locomotives, and now we hit loading stations. Where'd those go? Damn it. Bulk rail loader. This is going to be just like the ore stations, actually. Just like the mines. So let's grab one of the mining stations and actually use it. Did I save it here? I saved those. Okay, we just need the mining station. And these are going the wrong way. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's that. Then we need the loaders. These loaders are simpler than the mining stations because I'm just shoving one in each one. We do still need the balancing, however. Looks like we're running it by hand. Yep. Fine. This is going to be everything we want to load if everything is less than 5, less than equal to 5. Actually, we were using 15, I think. And we just need to bring these down. Need to skip over 2 of them. So bring it across there. Okay, there's that. What happened to my other ones? Okay, so we do need to arrange for power. So if I've done this right, these should now load balanced. We should end up with plate here. We should end up with the inventory coming in here, and now we can set up our configuration. Oh, name. This is AAA, and this is going to be steel 101. Stations. What I want to have 1 or A. Just 1 there. Yeah. So we have room for 1 train here. We have room for 1 train here. And this is not a full train. So parking for 2. Roll out for 1. This is exactly the same configuration as these guys, really. Let's see. Different encoded network ID. This is going to be providing the plate. Let's put that at 128. So I need to remember 256 for ore, 128 for plate. And provide a 360. There. So there's our steel smelter. We don't have his empty train sources and depots set up yet. We're going to need a depot for the ore. We're going to need a depot for the plate, which are separate from these depots down here. They're also bigger. They're also coming in from the north. If I brought my empties in from the south, so the plate empties need to come in from the south so that I can put the depot down here somewhere so that the depot is between the consumer and the producer. Yeah, okay, so let's reverse this one. So empty plate outer is north. So empty ore inner north, empty plate outer north. Oh, this puts both my depots to the south. Cool. That's good because I want to be able to add more things to the north without going too far. So empty ore inner north is now wrong. We are going north. Here, here, here. Empty ore inner north goes south. Empty ore. Yeah, because this is after you drop, so we are returning. Damn it. So this is empty ore return. This is empty plate outbound. So empty ore plate coming north on this guy to come pick up plate, and empty ore after dropping ores coming south. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, full ore is it should be. So full ore is coming in from the mines. So the full ore is coming south. Unless I want, if I bring my ores in this way, send the ore north. Yes, that works. Let's send everything northbound and return it southbound. So full ore inner north. So we're headed northbound here, not southbound. So, ore trains come in from the mines, they head north here, they get all the way up to the top, get across, drop their ore, and come south. Plates We send empties up to here, pick up plates, and we get south here where they go get used. Perfect. And now if we pick up this much, just like that, snap to grid, relative, 360, 180, like that. We're not keeping train stop names. Now let's keep train stop names. But what we can do is turn off all of our combinators before we start. Okay, combinators are all off, so we're not requesting anything in or providing anything out. Well, these will provide out on a default basis. It's probably best if I turn on this combinator. Now up here, these are really identical except for the iron ore. So we could share them. The only question is, if we do share them, how do we get in the unshared stuff without also crossing it up onto there? I guess we don't. But what we can do is separate out the thing that's different and leave it off. And that leaves that so we can configure it on. Like that. That's safer. So the downside of this is if I place this down and I duplicate the station names, existing if I start off by putting enough of these down, I don't need to worry about it. So how many steel smelters do I need? Let's just go ahead and lay it out. We have steel. Boy. Now this is actually steel from iron, not steel from iron plate. Which means that we need to reduce our iron smelting by the amount we're doing for steel. So this is 12.2 wagons, which is 18 plates, 18 belts. We're going to do 4 per, so we need 3 copies of this. Okay. So we pick up all the way out to the edge of that power pole and all the way up through the edge of this power pole. And snap to grid relative 360-180. I'm going to do train stops and tiles and all of that good stuff. Create that blueprint, and now we're just going to step it down 2 more times. Whoops. That should have triggered. line it by hand and just put it down. Yeah. So there we go. There's all of our steel. I'm going to go ahead and turn these on, so once we get the trains, we can do it. Yes, it does mean this guy's going to be complaining a bit. Oh, network 1. That's network 256. Let's turn these off. Yeah, that's going to be a while before I get that hooked up. I'm sorry. $256. Yeah, turning the requesters on is going to be the last thing we do. 128, and he's all set. And he is steel 3. I should have O2, not O1 and O3. Okay, stations. So 01, 01, 01. 02, 02, 03, 03, and 03. So that should be enough steel for me. That is 24 lanes of copper ore input. 24, 18, that's good. Okay. So iron plate, 31 minus 18 means I've got 20, let's see, 3, 13. Let's put down 3 iron ore smelters. Same thing. So this is just like this, but I need a different smelter in the middle. And probably the easiest way to do that will be just to take our existing blueprint and mirror it to the right. And I can do this. Now, that got junked up because we still have power lines in the middle here. Yeah, okay. So let's get the first one. Belt unloader is in the way. That's right, you can't place those down a second time very well. Okay, so that would be correct if we were putting down more steel, but we need to do this as iron, not steel. For iron plate, these smelting arrays just completely go away. I should have saved some of this stuff out in the middle there. Okay, so basically, what I want to put on the end of this is a iron smelting thingy. Here's my basic layout. Let's drop this in place in one place. I can retrofit it. Let's see, we want north-south orientation. I'm going to carve off the splitters. In fact, all of this. Okay. So if we are maneuvering this into place here, let's see if I can center it appropriately. We no longer need that or down to there. And this is center here. Okay, there's the belts run. Now we just need to extend the smelter arrays out here. Now these are in proper groups of 4. So I can just boom and boom, and then just hit these up in the middle somewhere to knit the things in the middle. There. And there's our iron. There's a calculator button here that I keep missing. For function calculator right there. Why is it not jumping out at me? Okay. Steel and iron to the right. Okay. Add tag. So these guys should still be not requesting. That's correct. Everything else is the same. Let's connect some of this stuff up a little better. There's power. Again, as I've mentioned before, power is going to come. I can actually hook this up now to these power peripherals. But I think I'm going to hold off on that until I'm ready to really start activating them seriously. Okay, so out to there. We're going to keep the train stop names in the tiles. We are going to snap to grid relative 360 and 180. Now I should be able to just put that down and go boom and boom. So that gives us 24 belts of iron converted to plate. So that 24, 18 of those are diverted. 31, 11, yeah. So that's potentially overkill, and that's correct. And I'm going to do the same thing with copper. So I'm just going to lay these down again to the right, and all I have to do is just change the iron to copper in them all. And place that there. And I have forgotten again that I had the power going, so we need to kill those. There we go. This is copper smelting. And we need to fix the names and what they're requesting. Names first. I need to fix the numbers over there. Okay, so steel, iron, copper, 321, 321, 321. That's correct. Now these guys, they are going to use copper ore. Be nice if I could just write a Python script. Oops. That doesn't change. But the right-hand part of that will. So I need copper plate again. Let's just put that in our copy buffer. And this is 01. Careful. Okay, and let's kill the ore out from under me before I go nuts about the ores. And make sure that all the rocks and trees are gone. There we go. Nice and clean. So we've got steel smelting here, which requires iron ore and coal. Ba-da-boom. Iron ore and coal for iron smelting, and copper ore and coal for copper smelting. And this is going to be 24 blue belts of each one, which should be overkill. So 24 and 24 there, and 24 is overkill. Now, stone brick. We only need one smelting station for stone brick, and it only needs to turn out a little over half of a normal one. So I'm going to put one in, and I'm just going to let it go. And that goes right there. And before we do that, let's remember this time to take care of those. And he just slides right in like that. Where'd the ore eraser go? So, fix the names. Oh, and I still need to fix the requests on the copper. Let's do it the stone first. So this is brick. Doesn't really matter what order we do things in, as long as I don't get too confused. Okay. So we're here. And we want this to be stone, minus 64K. And where did my Spidertron go? Whoops. Yeah. I set my Spidertron to where I needed to edit. So this is still supposed to be that. Oh, we can't hit 10x. We can't even hit 5x on this map at this point. We can hit 3x though. So this is stone. This is copper. Did I do the right one? Yep. Okay. Those are almost right. Close enough. He's going to want copper. And this guy's going to want copper. Now here, these are the automatic drains that I was setting up. So if you get something other than coal or these filters need to be set on a per smelter basis for all the smelters. Okay, I'm going to take care of that offline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate those filters. And I can do that without the camera going. So we're all good to go. Just need to eliminate the filters on the drop stations at the smelters, and we'll come back when I'm done.